The thing that wears your face. Key points. Main idea breakdown. A man is minding his own business in his apartment when suddenly he hears a knock at the door. He looks through the peephole and sees a man identical to him, down to the clothes he's wearing. This doppelganger then proceeds to whisper some cryptic nonsense before attempting to break into the apartment. What follows is a game of cat and mouse between our protagonist and this interloper, with each twist deepening the mystery and suspense. So let's get into it. The knock at 3 a.m. It's a dark and stormy night. A man is sitting alone in his apartment when he hears a knock at the door. Startled, he walks over and peers through the peephole. To his horror, he sees an exact replica of himself standing outside. This doppelganger is wearing the same clothes as him, and even has the same expression on his face. But how can this be possible? Is this a figment of the man's imagination, or something more sinister? The voice. Before the man can react, the doppelganger begins to speak. His voice is a raspy whisper that seems to come from somewhere else. "You're in my house. Let me back in." These words send chills down the man's spine. Who is this imposter, and why does he want to break into the apartment? Confused and frightened, the man steps back from the door and tries to make sense of what he just heard. But as he does, he catches his own reflection in the mirrored hallway. And to his absolute horror, he sees that his own face has been replaced by the exact same face as the doppelganger. The proof. The man runs to the bathroom mirror, but the horrifying sight that greets him there makes him freeze in his tracks. His reflection is no longer his own. Instead, it's the face of his doppelganger staring back at him. The man is in disbelief. He touches his face as if to confirm that it's real, but all it does is make things worse. The doppelganger's face begins to distort and change, becoming more and more monstrous until it's no longer human at all. The man screams in terror as he realizes the full extent of what's happening to him. The face of his doppelganger has become his own face. The invasion. As if sensing the man's fear, the doppelganger outside the door begins to laugh. It's a low, guttural sound that echoes through the apartment. Then the knocking resumes, but this time it's more violent, more insistent. The man can feel the vibrations of each blow through the floorboards, and he knows that the doppelganger is growing impatient. With a final crash, the door bursts open and the doppelganger steps inside. The man turns to run, but it's too late. The doppelganger is upon him in an instant, and the two struggle for dominance. The doppelganger is stronger than the man had anticipated, and soon he finds himself pinned to the ground. The doppelganger leans in close to his ear and whispers, "You should have let me in sooner." He grins, revealing teeth that are far too sharp, far too long to be human. And the man realizes with a sickening certainty that he'll never escape the clutches of the thing that wears his face. The ending twist. The sun rises, painting the sky with hues of pink and orange. The neighbors in the apartment building stir from their sleep and go about their daily routines. One of them is the man who lives in the apartment where the doppelganger had broken in. He opens the door and steps out into the hallway, a polite smile on his face. But when the neighbors return the smile, they can't help but notice the coldness in his eyes. They seem to have a life of their own, devoid of the warmth and light that should reside there. The man doesn't seem to notice their stares, or perhaps he doesn't care. He walks past them without a word, disappearing down the hallway. The neighbors exchange uneasy glances. Something about the man's demeanor, the way he moved, the coldness in his eyes, it all seemed off, unsettling, but they couldn't put their finger on it. They just felt that something wasn't right. And as the man disappeared from sight, they shook off the feeling, deciding it was probably just their imagination. After all, it was just another day in the city, or so they thought. Little did they know, the man who lived in that apartment was no longer the man they knew. The thing that wore his face had fully invaded, twisting his features, draining his soul. And now it walked among them, hiding in plain sight.